Hey, welcome to Canuary day 9. Today we are going to be canning taco meat and hamburger. I'm going to do some taco meat and I'm hoping to do some like Italian seasoning thing so I can mix into a red sauce for spaghetti or some type of other dinner meal. My husband and son are off camera making funny faces. So anyways, I've got 6 pounds of ground beef here and almost 3 pounds here. So we're going to cook this about 50% of the way and then we'll can it. I've got my jars warming in the oven, and so now we just need to start cooking our meat. All right, let's get into it. Okay, let's cook this meat. We're only gonna cook it about halfway. And that is so that it doesn't make a meatloaf in the jar. So if we cook it halfway, it'll stay in its little ground pieces in the jar. I'm also going to season this meat while I cook it. And so it'll be pre-seasoned in the jars. Which is great if you live in an area where you might lose power a lot, or if you're like me, and you get distracted throughout the day, and then at 5:30 you're like, oh my gosh, what are we gonna have for dinner? So this is an awesome thing to have on the shelf to pull out and make dinner with. All right, so this is about as cooked as you want it. So I'm gonna add some seasonings. I'm gonna add some diced onions. I don't know if I can get the thing on there. Okay. There we go. And some minced garlic. And then I'm also just gonna add some Italian seasonings. And then like a pinch of salt. Mix this in real quick. Whoop. Knocking some out of the pan. And then just make sure you get it into the little pieces you like. But then this is ready to can. So I'm gonna pull this off the heat. Okay, this one is pretty well done as well. So we're gonna season it. Spoon of garlic, maybe a little extra. Measure with your heart. Some onion. And then I'm also gonna add tacos, what we put into our tacos. So I like racaito, to say it correctly. Some sofrito, which I'm just gonna pour some in there because my jar's almost empty anyways. And then some sazon. I really like this brand because it's organic and it's dye-free, so you don't have to worry about any red dyes. And then we'll just mix that in.
Right there.
And then once this is mixed in, it will be done and we can start filling our jars. All right, so let's jar our meat. I think I'm gonna get 2, but maybe I'll get 3 out of this, we'll see. So we're gonna fill it up to about 1-inch headspace, and then we will add some beef broth in there. I did strain a bit of the grease off midway through cooking. And these, like I said, these jars were warming in my oven, just on like the warm setting. Just so we have hot jars for our hot food, and then the water in my canner is also going to be hot because we don't want any differences in temperature because that will cause the jars to crack. So give them a little smush down in there. And then I'm going to get a chopstick and debubble once I add my beef broth in there. So I'm just going to add some beef broth or stock. I never understand the difference. I'm ready to debubble. Like I said, you want it to be at 1 inch headspace. Alright, now we're filling our quart-sized jars with our taco meat. Again, warm jars, warm meat, and have warm broth. You want to keep everything the same temperature so that you don't have any issues with the jar integrity. You need to get a wide mouth funnel. One inch headspace. We're going to fill with the warm broth and debubble really good. Smush it down in there. My hope is to fit all this into my electric canner, but I might have to bust out another quart and then use just the standard pressure canner. When canning different sizes, the time is gonna be for whatever your biggest jar is. So in this case, my biggest jar is the quart. So we're gonna can for 90 minutes. And for my altitude, we're using 10 pounds of pressure. Remember to always check your altitude to see how many pounds of pressure you need. Let's push this down really good. Okay, I don't really have a ton left. I think it might just be a nice little treat for my Saint Bernard, who's just laying off to the side over by one of the colder doors. So now we're going to fill this up with beef broth just to fill in those spaces, and we'll debubble really good. So we don't have any air pockets in there. Remember, everything's got to be warm, so our lids are going to be warm. My lids are warming in the oven. My husband's grabbing them out for me right now. We want everything to be warm so we don't have any stress fractures, any buckling, anything like that. Just need a little bit more broth in there. Also, I hope I don't have to say this, but make sure you wash your hands really good before doing all this. After doing all this, this isn't fully cooked meat yet, so you don't want any cross-contamination anywhere. And when you're touching food, you don't want to cross-contaminate, so just make sure you're really washing your hands. And we're wiping it with vinegar because beef is greasy, as you know, and we want to get really good seals with our lids, so we're using the white vinegar. Can you grab me another one, please? remember to tighten them fingertip tight. Okay, and there's that. I'm sorry I didn't show you the other one, but there's that. And they're going to go into the pressure canner for 90 minutes. And then we'll see what it looks like after. Okay, so everybody's in the canner. Here's the hamburger meat with Italian seasonings. So everybody is in the canner. I'm gonna add a splash of vinegar so that we don't have any hard water staining. And then, like I said, these are in a can for 90 minutes. This one figures out the pressure itself, but if you're using a traditional pressure canner, my altitude is 10 pounds of pressure. Always check your altitude. So we're gonna can for 90 minutes and then we'll come back and see what it looks like. Bear, what's that? You want a snack? Hi, Bear. So I wanted to tell you guys about this little thing I use for white vinegar. This is a little pump, so when you push it, the white vinegar comes up. I got it on Amazon. It was like, I think like $5. Get you one. This is so easy to have around when you're having to like clean with white vinegar and you don't have to worry about pouring it into a bowl. Like, this is awesome. So I didn't want to gatekeep on this. I wanted you guys to be able to go get one of these too.
Wait, after I buy this, is it your